issuance and funding a debt service reserve fund, if any, associated with the Series 2020A project by the issuance of the Series 2020A bonds. JSAB shall be the initial owner or operator of the project facility. The agency will, at the above stated time and place, hear all persons with views with respect to the proposed financial assistance to the JSCB, the proposed owner-operator, the location of the project facility, and the nature of the project. A copy of the application filed by the JSCB with the agency with respect to the project, including an analysis of the costs and benefits of the project, are available for public inspection during the business hours at the office of the agency, located at 201 East Washington Street, 6th floor, Syracuse, New York. Dated December 3rd, 2019.
Thank you, Judy. Would anybody like to speak on behalf of the project?
Good morning. I'm Suzanne Slack from the school district here on behalf of the district and JSCB. This will be the final borrowing not to exceed $108 million for Phase 2 of JSCB. This will include renovations for the interior and exterior of 3 of our middle schools, 1 high school, and then the stadium and fields at Fowler that the community has been talking about for a long time. Happy to answer any questions if there's any.
Questions?
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak on behalf of the project?
The Urban Jobs Task Force goes to the JSCB meetings for years now because they put in a 20% residency hiring. And I just want to encourage you to, of course, help them with this. And we're very supportive of the effort, too.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak on behalf of the project? With that, would anybody like to speak against the project? One final time, would anybody like to speak against the project? Okay, thank you. The next hearing will be for JMA Tech Properties, LLC.
Do you want to close it? Just note for the record that it's closed. That public hearing.
That public hearing is closed.
Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Section 859A of the New York General Municipal Law will be held by the City of Syracuse Industrial Development Agency on the 17th day of December 2019 at 8 a.m. local time at 233 East Washington Street, Common Council Chambers, City Hall, Syracuse, New York, in connection with the following matter. JMA Tech Properties, LLC, or an entity to be formed, requested the agency undertake a project consisting of the acquisition of an interest in 13 parcels of real property, 3 of which are improved, totaling in an aggregate approximately 3.85 acres of land located at 120 to 154 Cortlandt Avenue and Tallman Street, improved by an approximately 119,000 square foot building known as the Coin Building, 1022 Clinton Street South, improved by an approximate 7,200 square foot building called the Gabriel Building, 1051 Clinton Street South, improved by an approximate 2,352 square foot building known as the Wastewater Building, 1029, 1033, 1049, 1049 Rear, and 1080 to 82 Clinton Street South, 222 to 224 Tallman Street and Clinton Street South, and 226 Tallman Street, 980 to 82 Salina Street South, 1002 to 22 Salina Street South and Cortlandt Ave, and 1024 to 40 Salina Street South and Tallman Street, all located in the city of Syracuse, New York, collectively known as the Land. The reconstruction and renovation of the Coin Building and the Wastewater Building to be used as a new campus to develop, manufacture, test, and showcase 5G technology, including but not limited to the leveling of floors, the removal of part of the second floor to accommodate high-rack storage space on a portion of the first floor, the removal and reconstruction of various support columns, new lighting, signage, windows, paint, ceilings, floors, doors, and the reconstruction of offices, meeting and training spaces, conference rooms, an employee cafeteria and locker room, storage, restrooms, shipping and receiving bays, a customer showcase and demonstration area, workstations and server areas, all located on the land, and the demolition of the Gabriel Building to be used along with the balance of the parcels comprising the land as surface parking to serve the renovated Coin Building and Wastewater Building. All of the foregoing collectively known as the facility. The acquisition and installation in and at the land and facility of furniture, fixtures, and equipment, the granting of certain financial assistance in the form of exemptions from real estate taxes, state and local sales and use tax, and mortgage recording tax, all in accordance with Section 874 of the General Municipal Law, the appointment of the company or its designee as an agent of the agency in connection with the acquisition, construction, reconstruction, renovation, and equipping and completion of the project facility, and the lease of the land and facility by the agency pursuant to a lease agreement, and the acquisition of an interest in the equipment pursuant to a bill of sale from the company to the agency, and the sublease of the project facility back to the company pursuant to a sublease agreement. The company shall be the initial owner or operator of the project facility. The agency will, at the above stated time and place, hear all persons with views with respect to the proposed financial assistance to the company, the proposed owner or operator, and the location of the project facility, as well as the nature of the project. A copy of the application filed by the company with the agency with respect to the project, including a cost-benefit analysis, are available for public inspection during the business hours at the offices of the agency located at 201 East Washington Street, 6th floor, Syracuse, New York.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would anybody like to speak on behalf of the project? Second time, would anybody like to speak on behalf of the project? Would anybody like to speak against the project?
I want to speak on behalf of the project. I was a little mystified why the cost-benefit analysis wasn't in the package. 300 Spencer Street was, but I couldn't find JMA. So maybe, anyway, so maybe I searched wrong and whatever. But I know enough about the project to know that it's good for especially my side of town, the south side, and it will bring jobs to an area that needs it. And we've got the old coin building that was just sitting there, and that's bad in a sense. So bottom line, I think it's good, and I'm hoping that there are probably a lot of construction wages that go along with the project. But again, because I couldn't find the cost-benefit analysis, I don't know how much they are. But again, I'm hoping that the developers really sit down, and as Syracuse builds, takes off, they start getting those graduates, and more developers do that. So again, it sounds like a good project, but anyway.
Thank you. Just for clarification,
Yeah, and I apologize. This is not on the main agenda, and you're right, it was not there. When the resolutions are not going to be considered, and this one wasn't, we put it with the public hearing. It's on the agenda, but I did not include it. I apologize.
Oh,
so will we be having another,
We will be having a meet in January where the board will consider resolutions to approve the project, and the cost-benefit analysis will be there then.
so Aggie, what we'll do then is we'll leave this here, we're gonna leave this public hearing open.
Oh,
So
okay.
that we can, because of you bringing this to our attention, we will make sure that we leave this open, so that when the cost-benefit analysis is there, we will then provide the public the opportunity to comment on it.
right. And I don't know if a similar cost-benefit analysis was done for the school board. Was that in there, or is that?
We don't do them.
It would have been nice if it had been done. I know it's a little different situation because of the bonding, but again, that stuff, those summary sheets are really telling. So I encourage you.
Okay, so we're leaving this.
So would anybody else like to speak? Aggie spoke in favor of the project. Would anybody else like to speak in favor of the project? With that, would anybody like to speak against the project? With that, we will leave this public hearing open until the next meeting, in which time when we have the cost-benefit analysis to allow the public opportunity to comment.
Okay.
Great.
I believe the next meeting is January 21st.
January 21st.
Next, Gesso Properties LLC.
Okay, Jessup Properties LLC. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Section 859-A of the New York General Municipal Law will be held by the City of Syracuse Industrial Development Agency on the 17th day of December 2019 at 8 a.m. local time at 233 East Washington Street, Common Council Chambers, City Hall, Syracuse, New York, in connection with the following matter. Jasso Properties LLC, or an entity to be formed, the company, requested the agency undertake a project consisting of the acquisition of an interest in approximately 1 acre of land located at 1641 East Genesee Street in the city of Syracuse, the land, the renovation of an approximately 50,000 square foot building for mixed use, approximately 21,025 square feet on the first floor for use as a conference room, showroom, warehouse, staging and delivery and storage, approximately 5,425 square feet on the second floor for use as residential apartments, and approximately 9,450 square feet on the second floor for use as commercial space. Approximately 7,724 square feet in the basement for use as tenant storage, indoor parking for residential tenants, and a main utility room, and replacement of the roof and construction of approximately 6,000 square feet of roof space to be used as a rooftop gathering space, all located on the land. The acquisition and installation in and on the land and facility of furniture, fixtures, and equipment. The equipment, and together with the land, form of exemptions from real estate taxes, state and local sales and use tax, and mortgage recording tax in accordance with Section 874 of the General Municipal Law, collectively the financial assistance. The appointment of the company or its designee as an agent of the agency in connection with the acquisition, construction, renovation, equipment, and completion of the project facility, and the lease of the land and facility by the agency pursuant to a lease agreement, and the acquisition of an interest in the equipment pursuant to a bill of sale from the company to the agency, and the sublease of the project facility back to the company pursuant to a sublease agreement. The company shall be the initial owner of the operator of the project facility. The agency will, at the above stated time and place, hear all persons with views with respect to the proposed financial assistance to the company, the proposed owner-operator, the location of the project facility, and the nature of the project. A copy of the application filed by the company with the agency with respect to the project, including an analysis of the costs and benefits of the project, are available for public inspection during the business hours at the office of the agency located at 201 East Washington Street, 6th floor, Syracuse, New York, dated December 3rd, 2019.
Thank you. Would anybody like to speak on behalf of the project?
Good morning. My name is Laura Cueva, and I'm the owner of the 1641 East Genesee Street Hudson Properties, and we are very excited for this project, and I hope so be approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak on behalf of this project?
Again, this is a project that is great for a neighborhood, the East Side, and I'm excited to see that kind of development, not all the development going downtown, and especially when a building becomes vacant. And it's great to see a woman owner. And a Latina. Yeah, a Latina. So all of that is great. And besides looking at the construction wages, which we're always hoping you'll hire from the city, the affordable rents are really, really important, and my group is watching that a lot because that's critical to this city and to the neighborhoods. So good luck.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak on behalf of this project? Would anybody like to speak against this project? Final time. Would anybody like to speak against this project? With that, this part of the public hearing is closed, and next we'll move on to the Smith Building.
Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Section 859A of the New York General Municipal Law will be held by the City of Syracuse Industrial Development Agency on the 17th day of December 2019 at 8 a.m. local time at 233 East Washington Street, Common Council Chambers, City Hall, Syracuse, New York, in connection with the following matter. Smith Building LLC, or an entity to be formed, requested the agency undertake a project consisting of the acquisition of an interest in approximately 11,604 square feet of real property improved by an existing multi-story, approximately 31,196 square foot building located at 500 Erie Boulevard East in the city of Syracuse, New York, the land. The renovation of the building for mixed use to include 37 apartments, common areas, and commercial space as follows. On the first floor, 6 apartment units totaling approximately 3,557 square feet, commercial and retail space totaling approximately 2,629 square feet, and approximately 2,602 square feet of common area space. On the second floor, 11 apartment units totaling approximately 6,371 square feet and approximately 967 square feet of common area space. On the third floor, 3 apartment units totaling approximately 1,565 square feet and approximately 416 square feet of common area space. On the fourth floor, 11 apartments totaling approximately 6,371 square feet and approximately 967 square feet of common area space. On the fifth floor, 3 apartment units totaling approximately 1,722 square feet and approximately 416 square feet of common area space. And on the 6th floor, 3 apartment units totaling approximately 1,565 square feet and approximately 416 square feet of common area space, and the construction of an approximately 263 square foot addition on the east end of the building to accommodate stairs and an elevator for residential occupants. Site improvements, including but not limited to sidewalk construction, tree pits, lighting and parking, landscape buffer areas, all located on the land. The acquisition and installation in and on the land and facility of furniture, fixtures, and equipment, the granting of certain financial assistance in the form of exemptions from real estate taxes, state and local sales and use tax, and mortgage recording tax, all in accordance with Section 874 of the General Municipal Law, the appointment of the company or its designee as an agent of the agency in connection with the acquisition, construction, renovation, equipping, and completion of the project facility, and the lease of the land and facility by the agency pursuant to a lease agreement, and the acquisition of an interest in the equipment pursuant to a bill of sale from the company to the agency, and the sublease of the project facility back to the company pursuant to a sublease agreement. The company shall be the initial owner or operator of the project facility. The agency will, at the above stated time and place, hear all persons with views with respect to the proposed financial assistance to the company, the proposed owner or operator, the location of the project facility, and the nature of the project. A copy of the application filed by the company with the agency with respect to the project, including an analysis of the costs and benefits of the project, are available for public inspection during the business hours at the office of the agency located at 201 East Washington Street, 6th floor, Syracuse, New York.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
With that, would anybody like to speak on behalf of the project?
Morning, everyone. Matthew Paulus here. I just want to comment and say I know we had a chance to talk about this earlier at the Finance Committee last week, but excited about this project. Appreciate the opportunity. This building has survived a lot over time in this community. It's been a big part of our transportation history, from the Erie Canal to the viaduct, and hopefully what we're investing into, which is the removal of the viaduct. But we're excited about this project and appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak on behalf of this project? Would anybody like to speak against this project?
I'm not against the project. I'd like a little more information about the affordable rents. Again, that's critical for downtown. And I'm glad I'm not hearing luxury apartments. Again, I think it's a dialogue that's got to keep on continuing about what those affordable rents should be. So,
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak for or against the project? Okay. With that, this portion of the public hearing is closed. And with that, we'll call the meeting to order. First order of business will be roll call. Michael Frame, Chair.
Kathy Murphy, Treasurer.
Ricky Brown, Secretary.
Steve Thompson.
Ken Kinsey.
Next, I'll note that proof of notice was adequately given for today's meetings. Next, I will seek approval of the minutes from the November 19th, 2019 board meeting.
I will make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The minutes carried. Next, we'll move on to committee reports. The Finance Committee met on December 10th, 2019. At the meeting, members of the committee reviewed applications received by the agency from JMA Tech Properties LLC, Jasso Properties LLC, and the Smith Building LLC. Representatives of the individual projects were present to discuss the proposals and answer any questions. I'll note that those were all of the ones that we had public hearings for today. After review and discussion, members of the Finance Committee approved motions to recommend to the Board of Directors approval of all three projects as presented. In addition, on December 10th, we also had a Governance Committee meeting. At the meeting, members of the committee reviewed a proposal for a property acquisition policy. After discussion, the members approved a motion to recommend to the Board of Directors adoption of the policy as presented. That will also be on the hearing later today. With that, are there any questions? No? If not, we'll move on to new business. The first order of business is 300 Spencer Street, LLC.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. The first agenda item, which you noted is 300 Spencer Street. In your agenda, the first resolution is the seeker resolution. Previously, this board adopted a resolution indicating that this was a type 1 action and appointing the board as lead agency for purposes of undertaking the review. The appropriate letters were sent to all involved agencies who signed off allowing this agency to be the lead agency for purposes of review. The applicant submitted a full EAF, which was reviewed by CNS, and the company undertook whatever and responded to questions presented as a result of that. Once all of the information was gathered and the review was completed, it was determined that the project would not have a significant environmental impact. There is a negative declaration to that effect in your agenda, as well as all of the information that was gathered. So with that, we are requesting the approval of the seeker resolution.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the seeker resolution.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
Kathy.
Ken second.
Thank you.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. The next resolution in your agenda with respect to this project is the inducement resolution. I'll note that I won't reiterate the project description, but the project is an investment of approximately $40 million into the community with the creation of 250 new jobs. There are currently existing approximately 250 jobs already, and this project will create an additional 250 jobs that, based upon prior representations to this board at the public hearing, span various pay scales, if you will, because the positions are varied throughout the company. This resolution authorizes the undertaking of the project by the agency. It would appoint the company as your agent for purposes of completing the project. It authorizes the execution and delivery of the agency agreement that is the document attached to this resolution, which is done with every project undertaken by the agency. It authorizes sales and use tax in an amount not to exceed $800,000. So with that, we're looking for a motion on the inducement of the project.
I'll entertain a motion for the inducement resolution.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the pilot resolution with respect to this project. This is a priority industry project. It carries a 15-year pilot. It is in accordance with your UTEP. There is no deviation. The schedule was attached to the cost-benefit analysis, and I believe there is a total savings over the course of 15 years of approximately $9 million.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for the pilot resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. The last resolution in the agenda with respect to this project is the final approving resolution. This will authorize the agency to execute and deliver all of the necessary lease transactional documents to be able to confer the benefits upon the company. I will note that in conversations with counsel for the company yesterday, it is the company's intent to be able to close by the end of the year on this project so that they can immediately begin, take the steps they need to. So we are diligently working with them to accomplish that goal.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the final resolution.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you.
Next order of business then would be the Joint School Construction Board.
Yes. And honestly, I will describe these. They're two separate resolutions. The inducement resolution authorizes the actual undertaking of the project, which, as you heard, is the last phase, if you will, of the second part of the construction projects for Clary, Danforth, Henniger, Fowler, and ELM. The renovations are going to approach $108 million, but not to exceed $108 million. So there are two resolutions with respect to this project. The first one is the inducement resolution, which authorizes the undertaking of the project, and the second one is the bond sale resolution, which authorizes the actual issuance of the bonds in an amount not to exceed $108 million, and authorizes the agency to execute and deliver the necessary bond transactional documents with respect to the issuance.
So then the first would be, I'll entertain a motion to approve the inducement resolution.
Thank you.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. The second one is the bond sale.
The bond sale,
Yes.
so I'll entertain a motion to approve the bond sale resolution.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
And just for the board's own information, it is anticipated that the bonds will be issued in the first quarter of next year.
Thank you. Next, Sue, Jasso Properties LLC.
Yes. So you had the public hearing with respect to this project, so I won't go into all of those details. The first resolution in your agenda is the seeker resolution. This is the agency appointed itself as lead agent for conducting an uncoordinated review. This is an unlisted action. The applicant submitted their EAF, which was reviewed and analyzed. It was determined that the project will not have a significant environmental impact, and there is a negative declaration in the agenda with respect to those findings.
So, entertain a motion to approve the seeker resolution.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. The next resolution in the agenda with respect to this project is the inducement resolution. As with all inducement resolutions, it authorizes the board to undertake the project, to appoint the company as your agent for purposes of completing the project. It authorizes state and local sales and use tax in an amount not to exceed $123,535, and it authorizes the execution and delivery of the agency agreement.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the inducement resolution.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. The last resolution in your agenda with respect to this project is the pilot resolution. This project is located in an NSRA district, and therefore it qualifies for your priority and commercial pilot schedule under your UTEP. It is a 15-year pilot, and we are seeking, I'm gonna, if I can flip back in my agenda, I will tell you the savings. The pilot savings over the 15 years.
$613,000.
Okay. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the pilot resolution.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. And then finally is the final approving resolution with respect to this project, which will authorize the agency to execute and deliver the necessary lease transactional documents to confer the approved benefits.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the final resolution.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries. Now we'll move on to the Smith Building LLC project, Sue?
Yes. So the first resolution is the seeker resolution. Again, the agency has appointed itself as lead agent for undertaking an uncoordinated review because it was determined that this is an unlisted action, and the company submitted an EAF. It was reviewed. It was determined that there are no significant environmental impacts with respect to the project as outlined, and there's a negative declaration attached to the resolution.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the seeker resolution.
Make a motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. The next resolution in the agenda with respect to the Smith project is the inducement resolution. I want to note for the record that this project is going to be income restricted. The entire building will be on average restricted to 80% of AMI, with a minimum commitment of 20% of the apartments restricted to 65% of AMI. The resolution authorizes the undertaking of the project by this board. It authorizes the execution and delivery of the agency agreement. It appoints the company as your agent for undertaking the project, and it authorizes New York State sales and use tax, I should say state and local sales and use tax, in an amount not to exceed $444,000.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the inducement resolution.
Make a motion.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. The next resolution in the agenda with respect to this project is the pilot resolution. Again, it is a 15-year pilot schedule in accordance with your UTEP because it is a commercial and residential priority, and it does comply with your UTEP. The savings over the course of the pilot is $684,911.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the pilot resolution.
Make a motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you. The last resolution in the agenda with respect to this project is the final approving resolution, and again, it will authorize the execution and delivery of the necessary transactional documents to confer the approved benefits.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the final resolution.
Make a motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries. With that, Judy, Open Counter Enterprises?
Yes. We are bringing this back before the board. In December of 2018, the Board of Directors approved a resolution approving a contract with Open Counter Enterprises to provide consulting and software technology hosting services for the city's central permit office. It has been in operation now, well, it went online in May, the first part of last year. They worked on it, and it's been in operation now for 6 months, and it has been received quite well. What happened was you had approved the first year of $77,500 to start up the program and to pay for the first year's subscription. It was intended that after the first year, the final 2 years of the contract would be taken over by the city of Syracuse at an annual fee of $45,000. What happened was that it never made it to the city's budget last year, and we received an invoice for this from the permitting department, and the invoice needs to be paid. So what we are asking you to do, and if you see the contract was actually signed. I gave you a copy of it. The contract was actually signed with Syracuse Industrial Development Agency. So first off, last year we only actually spent $66,500. We saved $10,000 of what you originally approved. And what we're asking you to do now is to approve this contract for the second year, We are going back to the city of Syracuse. The Central Permit Office is going to be working with the city. They are going to put it in the budget this year, and we're going to be asking, we're not sure that we can get it, we're going to be asking for reimbursement from the city when the budget goes into effect July 1st, at least for half of the year. And then the third year of the contract, if it proceeds, the city would be responsible for it.
And Judy, there has been discussion with the city and
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, there's been a
Regards
lot of
to the
it's been a lot of discussion in the last week about this.
just to be clear.
What?
Right. And Sue's just reminded me, if it doesn't make it into the budget, then the agency will be responsible for it. The only thing I can say is we've had discussions with Stephanie Pasqua, who is the commissioner. She's aware of this. Jake Dishaw from Central Permit Office is aware of it.
When is this bill due?
December 19th.
Stephanie's,
We literally got the bill. The Central Permit Office got the bill and did not know what to do with it. And they brought it to us, and I said, well, we never,
Can we ask for a 30-day continuance from the company in order to be able to further discuss this? If there was a commitment that was made to the Industrial
I'll be
Development
happy
Agency.
I'll be glad to do it, yes. But when we reviewed it,
I understand, but
Okay.
there was, if the agreement was that another city, another entity was going to take it for the other 2 years of it, and that and that hasn't happened, I think we need to have a discussion about that, because we're not really, aware of how useful is this.
Okay, and I'll be happy, as I said, this just came up, if we did not have time to put it on the Finance Committee agenda, I'll be happy to put it on the Finance Committee agenda for January, where we can
I'm
have
happy to have a
full
meeting
discussion.
prior to that, if other board members are willing. But we don't, I think we're just a little taken back by
understanding.
what the agreement was originally and what's now being proposed, and whether or not it's useful or not. And I think that part of the reason why was that we seeded the money, if I recall, that we seeded the money, see if permitting found it to be useful. I'd like an analysis at the end of it, because frankly, if we're going to be on the hook for another...
And honestly, I apologize. Jake Dishaw was supposed to be here this morning, and he's not.
I just think if you can talk to the company
We
and say...
absolutely can arrange it, and we'll table this
And then
item.
we'll just table that, and then we can have a finance committee meeting to go through that piece.
problem.
Great, thank you. Common Space Warren, LLC?
Yes, so, just let me get to my resolution. The agency closed on this project in 2019. It involves 3 buildings along South Warren Street, 349 South Warren, 351 to 53 South Warren, and 357 to 59 South Warren, and the renovation of those 3 buildings. When the project came before the board originally, the developer already owned one of the parcels. He owned 357. He acquired, as part of our closing, the balance of the 2 parcels. The existing building that he owned already had a mortgage on it. So at the time we closed on the project, SIDA did not participate in that mortgage because it was already existing. He is now looking to refinance that mortgage, and because SIDA now has a leasehold interest in the project, the lender requires SIDA's participation. So the first request before the board is that we participate in the execution and delivery of the refinancing documents relative to that parcel. In addition, because we did not participate in the first mortgage, they are requesting an increase in the financial assistance awarded to the project to cover the mortgage recording tax exemption with respect to that parcel only. And that would result in an approximate amount of $17,250 in new financial assistance. There was no public hearing required with respect to that because it does not exceed the threshold to trigger a new public hearing. So there are 2 asks of the board. One, that you participate in the refinancing documents, which I will note your lease transactional documents anticipate that you will participate in additional financings. And then the second request is the authorization of the mortgage recording tax exemption.
So I'm first to participate in the mortgage financing. Can I entertain a motion to approve the resolution?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries. Next would be a resolution for the mortgage exemption benefit relative to the project. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
Thank you.
Next, 900 East Fayette Group, LLC.
Yes, so this project closed with the agency in 2017. They currently have an $8 million construction loan on the property with Five Star Bank. They are looking to extend the term by 6 months of that existing financing and to increase the amount by $1 million. They're asking for approval to have the agency participate in the mortgage modification documents and for an increase in their mortgage recording tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $7,500.
So again, is there one resolution or two here?
It's two asks, but it's one resolution.
Okay.
That's,
I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The resolution carries.
thank you.
Seneca Armory Associates.
Yes, this is basically a review of the revised supplemental application. This company is moving to closing. You approved this earlier in this year in April. And a question was raised about the number of jobs that were initially reported to the agency at the time. And it actually is the retained jobs that the question has come up on. And the the company's attorney wanted to clarify that. So what happened is, this is the building where Mulrooney's is, and the application stated that there were 18 jobs that would be retained, which were the jobs from Mulrooney's. There are not 18 full-time, if anyone's been in Mulrooney's, there are not 18 full-time jobs in Mulrooney's. What there are their part-time jobs, and they actually have, I believe, 8 full-time jobs there. So we wanted to clarify this because through the next several years, we will be monitoring this company to make sure that they produce the number of jobs they said. So what they did was, they also reiterated, however, that they expected to be able to create new jobs, and those numbers remained the same, which was, once the project is completed, they expect that there will be an additional 17 full-time jobs that will be created. So the total of jobs over 5 years, both retained and new, would be 35. And we wanted to clarify that with the board members. If you have any questions, that is what happened. It seems reasonable. Tim Lynn is here, who represents Seneca Armory, if you have any further questions. There really is no action required by the board unless you have an issue.
And I would note, just for the record, that it is my understanding, and Tim could confirm, but at the time they submitted the application, they were not represented by counsel. And so the calculation of how you convert FTEs from existing is, I think, what screwed them up. And in conversations, in conversations with Tim as we were preparing for closing, a question came up, and he looked into it, and the explanation Judy just laid out is what he determined. But he is happy to answer any questions.
Clarification.
Just in terms of good faith efforts, in terms of the job commitments, what is that process for monitoring that, Judy? I know you mentioned.
Well, with all of our projects, every year from when they close, and they will close, depending on whether it is, we will monitor all of these projects. We monitor all of the projects for a minimum of 5 years.
Gotcha.
Okay? If in fact they have a pilot, we monitor it for the term of the pilot, which is generally more than 5 years.
Right.
But so in this particular case, since this project was receiving just mortgage and sales tax exemptions. We will monitor them for 5 years and ask them to provide us information on their jobs every year.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Judy. Next, we'll move on to the property acquisition policy.
Right, and you have in front of you the proposed policy. This was approved by the Finance Committee. It came to our attention that for some reason the agency did not have an acquisition policy, and it was something that we wanted to address. So we just need you to,
Do we need to vote on it? I'll entertain a motion to approve the property acquisition policy, noting that all of the members of the board were at the finance committee meeting.
We were.
I'll entertain a motion.
I think I'm there. Make a motion.
All in favor?
remember that.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The policy carries. D&O insurance?
okay, next is D&O insurance. This is for, the agency. This is, the standard. The premium is $7,000. It's not changed from last year. It's the annual premium, for insurance, for liability insurance for the members of the board.
We'll entertain a motion to approve the, oh, do you have a question?
No, I was jumping.
Okay.
Motion.
To approve the,
They didn't go with the
our
price.
policy?
We're in.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next, the 2020 Board of Directors meeting schedule?
Right, which is standard. The meetings will again be on the third Tuesday of every month. We will post it on the city's website.
So, okay.
That's-
Do we need an executive session?
Briefly,
Okay, so we'll move to executive session. I'll note that we will then go back into general session, but that there will be no other business at that time. And I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session
For the
for
purpose.
for the
purpose of
purpose
property
of-
acquisition.
of property acquisition.
So moved.
Second. There we go. All right.
And this would be pretty brief.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Sue.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Have a nice holiday.
Good to see you too.